It's the Cochise County Sports Show with Paul and Dave, brought to you by Synergy HomeCare and Sierra Vista Golf Center. Now on Cool FM Live, here's your hosts, Paul Quarter and Dave Davies.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us here on Cool FM for our Cochise County Sports Show. I'm Dave Davies. That's Paul Quarter. Hope you all are having a wonderful day.
As always, this is brought to you by Synergy HomeCare of Sierra Vista, providing non-medical home care all across Cochise, Santa Cruz, and soon-to-be Graham County. Call them today at 520-685-1035. Well, whoever made that is a G, I'll tell you what.
Also, as always, huge shouts out to Sierra Vista Golf Center of Pueblo Del Sol. They have the Vista card available. You can make your golfing experience a lot more financially viable than it normally has been in the past. We know we're through the wintertime. It's springtime. It's golf time. Let's do this.
Not today, though.
Not today. Not today. We have bigger fish to fry today. But we had such a ridiculously exciting week last week here in Cochise County that was obviously capped off with that awesome all-star game that we had between the girls and the boys in Benson, Arizona on Saturday. It was an experience of which I've never had.
Of a lifetime. You can go ahead and just say, Dave. It was an experience of a lifetime. Just absolutely could not have dreamed that it would mean exactly what it meant. I think to us as well. And so we were sitting there all day, busy, just trying to get stuff done. And I said it all throughout the broadcast. It hit me, and didn't take a video of all the girls because we were still working. But when I saw the intros and saw all the different jerseys running out for the girls' introductions, I was like, this is really cool. And then the reception it got, and I was just blown away. Finally settled in exactly the gravity.
Oh, it never settled in for me. But you know what was so cool? Again, having been there the whole day, the games were a spectacle and all that stuff, but it was the little things. Like I got to spend 15 minutes just shooting with Kamira. And it was just the two of us, you know what I mean? And we're rebounding and talking hoops and all that. I got to spend 10 minutes with Julian Duran, just the two of us. He made 11 threes in a row. I swear, it was 11. I'm like, are you done? Are you done, Julian? Are you dialed in today, or are you dialed in today? But, it was all those little things. Who was the first person there when we showed up before we even got there? Kaylee Taylor sitting at the door.
She does live in Benson, Arizona.
And I knew who our first two kids. It was going to be Kamira and it was going to be Braden Posey. Who were the first two kids? It was all the little things. It was all the help from everybody in Benson, Arizona. Every one of you, too many to name. Thank you so much. As all these little problems were coming up, there was people just, I got you, and just taking some of that off of our plates. R&R Pizza Express in Benson, Arizona. Thank you very much.
But fed the kids for free. Those are high school kids. Okay, they're high school boys athletes. Okay, they each get a pizza to themselves.
I'll tell you what was funny. He helped me pick up the pizza. We have 10 extra large pizzas and 8 boxes of breadsticks. And he's like, "What are the girls gonna eat?" It's like literally what he said.
We do have a comment in the chat by Synergy HomeCare. Sierra Vista said it was an amazing event. You guys putting it together. Great job. I was like, thank you so much, Synergy. And my goodness, what an event it was, Dave. And I got to say, I think the person that probably brought the house down more than anybody, Francia Rubio from the Douglas Lady Bulldogs. There was a spell in possession. She hit a three. She gave a behind-the-back pass in successive offensive possessions, and everyone was on the edge of their seat waiting to see what she was going to do next.
Well, when we had the Cochise College coaches in the house, Francia Rubio was literally auditioning for a job, and she did really well. So congratulations.
Yes, again, thank you to Coach Opak, Coach Fauda, Coach Lane, and Coach Matthews, who were down there from Cochise College. We also found out that we had representation from Arizona State was out there. There were colleges from California, things that people we didn't even reach out to. So this actually got a lot of traction outside of what we were advertising, and I think the kids did a great job with all that pressure on them.
Yeah, again, like that, especially with the girls. I told them, like, you guys are auditioning for jobs out here, and Kaylee got nervous. But, I mean, and again, just one...
Nervous to the tune of tied for leading scorer in the game.
It's so funny because you never know in an all-star game who's going to show out. You never know who's going to be that guy. Thomas Welker and Sebastian Lopez went crazy in that game.
And they guarded each other a lot, too. That was just fun to watch, man.
I messaged Sebastian later that night. I'm like, you're going to be getting calls for basketball. Like, you know that, right?
Oh, but he definitely got some people. The coaches that I were talking to, there's a couple of them like, he's playing football, right? I'm like, That's his first love. I don't know. You tell me. Is he playing football?
It is in no way in my place to let any cat out of any bag. So we will be hosting the Bisbee signing day. We're going to find out where all these athletes are going. But I have a little inside knowledge, but that is not my business to disclose. So, but thanks everybody that made that such a special event for all the kids. It was amazing.
I do want to talk about some people. I'm not going to do a full stat rundown of anything, but I did put all those graphics online about the boys, girls, breakout players. So obviously the all-Dave MVP, you talked about him, Thomas Welker, the all-Paul boys MVP, Sebastian Lopez, all-girl Paul MVP, no surprise, Francia Rubio, no surprise for you, Kaylee Taylor. It's why they were the 2 top picks in the draft for the Benton Bobcats and Douglas Bulldogs. Breakout performance for the boys, I had Ryan Felix. I think he showed a lot. And for the Douglas Bulldogs, it's been Diego Lopez. We see Ryan Felix, and we know exactly what he brought to the table. And that fourth quarter, I even wrote it in the article. Like, he really dominated and took that over.
And he was also the biggest smiling kid of every kid in that gym was Ryan Felix. He was so happy to be there.
I had to clarify on surprise performance because I don't think it's any surprise that C.J. Williams had 12 points. But the kid looks me in my eyeballs, so he's 5'11" at best, and rises above Jesus Pacheco, Sebastian Lopez, and someone else I can't remember, and swats 3 blocks from one of the smallest kids on the court.
When I watched him against Marine, it wasn't the points, it was the block shots.
Right.
Where I'm like, whoa! When he got Lopez, I was like, oh, no.
And then the dirty work, the people that don't really show up in the stat sheet, Hunter Greasemore from the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. You talk about a small build, and he was in there with rebounds. He finished with 7 points, I think 3 assists, and 3 steals and a couple assists.
For the minutes he played, he had a game.
Exactly. Over to the girls, the breakout performance. How do you pick anyone besides freshman Tombstone Lady Yellow Jacket, Damaris Alvarez?
Yeah, came out with the first couple buckets of the game.
Third leading scorer, 13 points behind Kaylee Taylor MVP and Francia Rubio.
Coach
MVP.
V is excited about the future there.
No kidding, right? It makes the Rachel Thursby, the Briella Schuler, Brooklyn, all the people that they're losing, Emma Rivera, makes it a little bit easier when you have a freshman doing that. Surprise performance, I got to say, Gabby Galas from the Wilcox Cowgirls. We know how good she is.
No surprise to me.
Getting 10 rebounds against the rebounders that were on that floor. That was amazing. Congratulations, Gabby Galas. And then Isabella Solis from the Bisbee Pumas, my dirty worker, led the game in steals from start to finish. There you go. Those are the people I want to talk about. We did upload graphics that have full stat breakdowns for all the players as well.
Again, thanks to everybody that made it such an amazing event, and we were already discussing the baseball thing is going to happen. So get ready. There's a baseball all-star game coming.
We're going to make it happen some way, somehow.
So, but all right. Well, let's move on to our regularly scheduled programming here, my friend.
Yeah, Dave, we did put out a feeler. We did let everyone know that we are going to be joined by a special guest today, and that would be...
It would be Coach Todd Hammond of the Bisbee Pumas.
Coach Todd, come on in
Coach
here.
Todd Hammond of the Bisbee Pumas.
First of all, Todd, how you liking the new digs?
Here, it's nice.
Thank you for not wearing green, by the way. And we are live, folks. So go ahead and jump into the chat. A lot of people viewing us right now. Everyone wants to know. Oh, we forgot the. I didn't even know Dan had that graphic up.
What's that?
Intro for Todd and everything. Oh. Good job, Dan. But Coach Todd Hammond of the Bisbee Pumas. Coach, first things first. We're not going to jump into our rankings yet, but Bisbee Pumas, 5-game winning streak. How are you feeling about your team?
Obviously I feel pretty good about our team. I'm going to be honest with you. We haven't played our best game yet.
That's what I was waiting for.
I mean, we haven't. One thing I'll say, we have really pitched the ball well. I mean, really well. That's something that's exceeded my expectations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're pitching the ball so well that Jackson Alvarez and Sebastian Lopez aren't being able to get on the mound because of our other guys with Bryson Meyer, obviously, but the emergence of Brian Martinez and then Hunter Wright. I mean, with those guys, I mean, we're throwing the ball really well.
Right. Well, when Jackson's your fourth arm, you're okay.
Yeah, we got depth for sure.
And the one thing specifically I noticed, not with Brian Martinez, definitely his fastball's a lot more lively than it was last year, but Hunter's got a cut fastball now. And that's got to be really, really tough for hitters who've been seeing a two-seamer trail to them to see one tail away.
Yeah, well, the thing about Hunter is Hunter puts in the work, and him and Carlos Lopez, our pitching coach, they've been working on some different things, and it's really paying dividends for Hunter right now. So today, though, I'm not sure if – I mean, we have a doubleheader today, and Hunter might not see the mound today. He's got a little bit of elbow issues.
It's all those 4-pointers who he's jacking in the All-Star
Yeah,
game.
yeah,
He
yeah.
made two
I
of
did
them.
ask him if he got himself hurt in a basketball game. He said no.
He was shooting some pretty deep shots, but yeah. So a doubleheader today against Morenci. What is Morenci looking like? What are you thinking? I mean, I know you're never going to give me the whole like we're going to beat their butts thing, but how are we looking today against Morenci?
I mean, are we the better team than them? I think we are. But we were the better team than them last year, and we lost both times to them. So I think we single-handedly helped Morenci get into the playoffs last year. So
You weren't doing him any favors just for them to get smacked right out of it.
I'm just saying.
Well, to that point, too, the Wilcox Cowboys, they beat you at the end of the season, and that got them into the playoffs as well. And then, of course, the upset of the century. I don't think we're going to see anything better than that ever in Cochise County again, 15-2. And I love it because Dave was absolutely right about it. And Cash McCumber is their pitcher. Cash is the arm of the Wilcox Cowboys.
As well.
And he went in there, and Dave was like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. Wilcox plays Bisbee and Tombstone and Benson all the time. And they went out there and got the upset.
So,
what a time to be alive that was. I can't get over that, by the way.
So let's talk about the Pumas last week. They had the monster heavyweight matchup against the Tombstone Yellow Jackets.
Series of the year, round one went to the Bisbee Pumas. They also beat Desert Christian. They do have Morenci twice today, and then they play Santa Rita. So we're looking for a 3-0 Bisbee week. But as Todd said, Morenci got them twice last year. So the only team that the Bisbee Pumas didn't beat was the Morenci Wildcats.
Well, and there's a lot of Pumas on that field that remember that. So I'm sure Morenci's going to get the best version of the Bisbee Pumas today.
And if they didn't remember it, I reminded them of it.
Morenci Wildcats, don't sleep on them. Never sleep on them. But yeah, so they did, again, 2-0. They have a 5-game winning streak. They're currently undefeated in region play, undefeated in PowerPoint play as well. Sebastian Lopez went crazy, especially during the Tombstone game where he had 2 doubles. He had 2 RBI this week, 5 stolen bases, hit .714. Bryson Meyer only hit .285. What are you doing, Bryson? Only hit way above major league averages.
He's getting a lot of walks too,
I was
though.
going to say, how many times, what was his on base?
I don't know about that.
He's getting the Barry Bonds treatment this year.
I'm not Billy Bean, all right? But Bryson Meyer, 4 RBI, 2 stolen bases, 6 2/3 against the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, where he had 5 strikeouts, only let up 3 runs. I couldn't go back and remember how many were actually earned or unearned. One was earned, so he had himself the game of all games. When you play the Tombstone Yellow Jackets, you throw Bryson Meyer, and he does Bryson Meyer things. Brian Martinez hit .750 this week, 2 RBI, also threw 5 innings, 9 strikeouts, only 1 earned run allowed as well. And special shout out again to Javi Montiel. Who could have seen this coming? 7-14 this week, a double, and then 3 RBI. Congratulations to the Pumas. Todd, you said you haven't played your best game, but it seems like the Pumas are trending upwards towards that game.
Right now, yes, we are. I mean, it's a grind. You got to go through the whole season, and you hope to be playing your best baseball at the end.
Mm-hmm.
So
there needs to be more games.
One last thing while we're on the Bisbee baseball team, some behind the curtains stuff, because I'm there in the dugouts, the post games and whatnot. And I overheard you talking with one of your assistant coaches about what you thought the strategy that Tombstone would employ would be, because you say, well, we're slow starters. So I bet you they saved DJ till the 3rd or the 4th. And it was exactly what they did. And just you acknowledging with your coaches what you thought was the behind the scenes stuff in baseball. It's not just a bat and a ball, guys. It's really not.
Thinking man's game. It really is.
It was just something that I had overheard, and I'm like, man, oh man, these guys know each other way too well. You and Coach Milligan know exactly what you're going to do against each other.
And they're a great team. And what a great game.
Yeah.
What a great game it was. Playoff atmosphere for both teams. I mean, that's going to pay dividends for both teams in the long run when we're in the playoffs. Playing these kind of games.
If you folks are wondering why the new Tombstone hat isn't on the table, it's because I wear it. Bisbee fans, deal with it. So, but anyways, so good luck.
I was going to say it's because I like that one better, but go.
Good luck against Morenci today. I know at least one of those games will be broadcast by Paul Quarter over there. So
trying to work out the details if we can get the first one. But go ahead.
Stay tuned to Cool FM today. Let's move over to the Lady Pumas. Hot. They're hot. Muy caliente. 10-7 on the year, 1-1 in their region. They beat Tombstone last week. As always, while we're doing baseball, I'm running over to the softball field to check on the game. They ended up taking that one down 10-7 in a huge game. They were up 9-3, and it just kept going back and forth. And Bisbee, every time Tombstone punched, they punch them back. So they have Morenci today as well, and they are also at Santa Rita. So good luck, Santa Rita. But let's talk about that Tombstone game. Alyssa Lopez, a name you hear a lot. 3 for 5, 3 runs scored, 5 RBIs. Maria Lopez, a name you hear a lot. 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and Destiny Rodriguez, 2 for 5 with 2 runs. Lady Pumas are hot right now.
That's the second most impressive thing Alyssa Lopez has done. Won the 3-point competition for the ladies.
Over Francia Rubio. So
we got to realize the Lady Pumas are probably pretty hungry. They would have made the playoffs last year, but were banned by AIA. And so they're a good team. They were good last year. And they're probably even better this year, and they're a hungry team.
Yeah.
And they're out to prove something.
Yeah, they're on a big winning streak right now. So keep it up, Lady Pumas. Let's talk about another very hot team right now, the Benson Lady Bobcats. 8-9 on the year, 1-2 in their region, but they beat St. Augustine Catholic by 15 runs. They beat San Miguel 22-1, and they beat Apache Junction 26-5. So they're having a good week. But again, as we realize we're going through this is the heart of the season now. So they're at Santa Rita, they're at Wilcox, they're home against Desert Christian. So, so I mean, it's a big week for a lot of these teams. As hot as the Benson Lady Bobcats are, this is the week where you bang out 3 more and we're good to go. Let's talk about the Apache Junction game, 26-5. Karis Taylor, the freshman, 3 for 5, 2 runs scored, 4 RBIs, and Sierra Olson, the sophomore, 2 for 3, 5 runs scored, 2 RBIs. So keep it up, Lady Bobcats.
And we got to meet OG Taylor as well.
OG Taylor.
I forget her name, but I was looking
for
that's
what she had introduced herself as.
For
OG
the graphics, Taylor. And there was a lot of her photos playing Benson Bobcat basketball. So I'm curious as to who the better one is. We do have Adrian Fuentes in the chat, says that's one heck of a coach you guys have sitting between you guys. We agree.
Speaking of heck talking about me,
Adrian Fuentes in the chat. The Benson boys currently 7-9-1 on the season, starting to get hot. 1-0. This is. All these teams, it's the same story as last year. 1-0 in their region. They went 2-0 last week. They're currently 5-0-1 in their last 6, so they've been 6 unbeaten. They beat Valley Union in the game you were at, Dave. They beat San Miguel. They play Santa Rita today, and they play Desert Christian on Thursday or Friday.
Oh, so they're on a nice winning streak after this week.
Well, and I did speak to Dawson Judd, and he's like, yeah, we fully expect, in the most professional way possible, we fully expect to be 6-0-1 at the end of in our last.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
I mean, let's be real about Benson. They play it. They go to those early tournaments and they play some big time teams. So their record doesn't look as good as what they are.
No, but the AIA recognizes that.
I was gonna say the AIA rankings normally clear that up. Be like, oh, did you top load your schedule with 5A teams? You're like.
Of course, no stats for the Benson Bobcats, which I had been promised by Coach Montillo that they will get on, especially as we try to work towards a baseball all-star game. Yeah, no kidding, right? Let's go over. I thought we were going to segue right to Tombstone. We did all that Tombstone talk, but let's go ahead and get over to the Tombstone Yellow Jackets now. Currently 11-5-1. They're 4-1 in the region. They went 1-2 last week. One of those was a loss to Tanca Verde where they weren't throwing their arms. I did see. So it's not like they're trying not to win. It's just they're trying to see what else they have. They do play Morant. They did play I messed that up. Whatever. Well, they have a big game this week against Phoenix Christian. That's one I'll be at.
On Saturday. Yes.
Ooh.
Absolutely. So we'll talk about Eric Kohler to lead us off, and unfortunately he's not my player of the week, although it was really hard to leave him off. 333 this week, hit 2 home runs, 5 RBI, and had a stolen base. And I thought the power came from DJ Elias in Tombstone. Everyone else is telling me otherwise.
That's a name that we just weren't familiar with going into this year, and he is Eric Kohler. Every week, Eric Kohler. We're like, okay, your brother, we see you.
DJ Elias, speaking of, hit 667 with an RBI. He had a double, 2 stolen bases, pitched 8 innings this week, 13 strikeouts, only 1 run allowed. He did come in against the Bisbee Pumas and allowed no runs as well. So DJ,
he threw really well.
The arm is not leaving that kid. Sasha Webster, super sophomore, 625, an RBI, 2 runs and a stolen base. Another super sophomore, Kelly Bliss, hit 625, had a double, a triple, both of them against the Bisbee Pumas. 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases last week. Kelly Bliss, not my player of the week either. So you got to sit here and wonder who got player of the week if those two didn't.
Yeah, no, that's you got.
I wonder how they went 1-2 with all those.
I'm telling you. Well, they played Bisbee and they played Tanca Verde. So the series of the year, round 1 goes to the Pumas, and
round
just wait
2,
till the end
Warren
of the season.
Ballpark.
We're ready for it already.
The most surprising thing we're going to talk about today is the Tombstone Lady Yellow Jackets, 7-12 on the year, 3-0, and they're still undefeated in the region. They're on a 6-game losing streak right now.
That's surprising.
Like, including Bisbee and Tanca Verde. Lost to Tanca Verde 15-6. Big week for them. Here we go. At St. Augustine Catholic, at San Miguel, that's a win, and Desert Christian twice. But let's talk about that classic Bisbee game. They ended up losing 7-10, but Kyla Gross went 2 for 2 in that game with a run scored and 2 RBIs, and Mackenzie Nichols, a sophomore, 1 for 2, 3 RBIs in that game. So the Lady Yellow Jackets, uncharacteristically, not on a losing streak, but we have 4 games this week. You know you're beating San Miguel, so you don't have to worry about that one. But yeah, let's get back on track, ladies.
And we shall see. We shall see. Let's just go transition over to our last 2A team, Dave. And we'll start off with the Wilcox Cowgirls. Why not?
Yeah, there's the opposite of what's going on at Tombstone. 11-7 on the year, 2-1 in their region. They're on a 4-game winning streak. Beat San Miguel, Pima, Morenci, and Santa Cruz Valley. They have a big week. Benson, St. Augustine Catholic, Morenci. They have Benson and St. Augustine Catholic this week. Now let's talk about the Morenci game that they won, 17-16 in 10 innings. Layla Donahue, 3 for 6, 2 runs scored, 5 RBI. Gloria Encinas, 2 for 6 with a run scored, 3 RBIs, and Carly St. Clair, 2 for 4, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. But yeah, 17-16 in a 10-inning game. So Wilcox Cowgirls are looking hot right now.
I'll say. Hey, spoiler alert, someone might be traveling out for our first softball broadcast Wednesday.
Who, what, where?
The Benson Bobcats are at the Wilcox Cowgirls.
Oh.
Not set in stone. I don't want to get anyone excited, but I'm trying to make arrangements to get up there to watch that one. That's going to be
And for all of my fan out there, I have no game scheduled this week, just so you know. I actually have to go back to work, and I have some dental stuff on Thursday. But so no games from Dave this week. I'm back on the schedule next week. So for all of my fan, I know you're upset.
Well, we'll go over to the Wilcox Cowboys now. 4-9-1 on the season, 2-2 in the region. They went 1-1 last week. They did beat Morenci. They lost to Empire. Empire's a 3A/4A powerhouse. They do have one game this week against St. Augustine Catholic, so Wilcox going to be 5-9-1 at the end of this week. And we got to talk about Jerry Reyes. This is 2 weeks in a row with Jerry Reyes. He went 7-14, hit a home run, had a double, an RBI. He also threw 6 innings, had 7 strikeouts, only allowed 2 runs. Jerry Reyes is having himself a good couple weeks, a heck of a month. Anthony Morales, Ant-Man, went 3 for 4 against Morenci, hit a double and an RBI. Asher Ward, freshman, name sounds familiar. Also, in that Morenci game, trying to find it, I just lost it. Hit 2 for 2, had 2 walks, also 2 RBI, a double, and a stolen base against Morenci. And shout out Christian Teeters, 1 for 3, a walk, and 2 RBI against Morenci, and that's why they were successful. One thing I did notice with the Wilcox Cowboys, a lot of 1,000% fielding percentages coming back,
Thank
just
God.
like they did at this time last year, starting to figure out that defense.
I have a couple of things on Wilcox before I pass it over to Coach here. One, Jerry Reyes, saw him at the All-Star game. The kid is hot. He's just becoming a really, really good player. And 2, I don't want to hear about those Ant-Man stats because he wasn't even close on that half-court shot. So next time you ask me to call you out at an All-Star game to shoot a half-court, you got to come within 20 feet of the
close.
rim. No,
It was right under the rim. Go back and watch.
8 feet
Todd,
short.
you were going to say something?
Well, the big thing for Wilcox is they went to Morenci and won that game.
Yeah.
Not an easy place to go and play and win at all. So
What a
huge win for them.
One of the best fields I've ever seen in baseball.
I
Morenci.
don't like it.
The two-tone? Oh my, you're crazy.
I don't like it.
You don't like it because you got bad memories. Oh, is it? I thought it was grass.
No, it's all carpet.
That makes
Oh,
sense.
I thought they made their
Nothing but-
grass look like that.
No, it's all carpet.
No.
Everything. The pitcher's mound, the batter's boxes, everything.
Well, it's the
Oh.
same thing in NJCAA.
I thought it was
saying, I
like
don't like it.
I thought it was like
It
a
looks
Tempe
really
Diablo
nice.
Stadium thing.
No, it looks really nice, but it's.
Oh, well.
I'm a natural grass guy, so I'm a little.
Yeah, I
I'm a
didn't
little
know that. I was like,
Yeah,
wow,
same.
that's the most manicured grass I've ever seen in a high school
biased.
stadium.
Because it's not grass.
That makes a lot
we
more
get it
sense.
now. Thank you, Coach.
And this is why we have them on the show.
But still, back to Wilcox. What a huge win! You get it's everybody's probably their farthest travel that they got to go to play. Morenci's not an easy place to play in, and it's not an easy place to win. And for them to go there and dominate the way they did, that's for them being a young team. That's a huge win for them. They could build off of.
I agree with that. Let's transition over to our 1A teams. We'll go with the St. David Tigers. Currently 4-6-1. They're still undefeated in the region at 1-0. They went 1-2 last week. They beat St. Augustine Catholic. They lost against Baghdad and Magion. Cooper Merrill in those games went 400 last week, had a double, 3 RBI. Grant Hayman, the freshman, hit 400, also threw 5 innings, recorded 3 strikeouts in those innings. Vincent Yeager threw 4 innings, only allowed a run, 5 strikeouts against St. Augustine Catholic. And a name that we're familiar with, but we haven't shouted on the show, that's why he's on here, against Magion, Xavier Martinez went 2 for 3. So the St. David Tigers, it's that injury bug, and it sucks. It happens. Exactly. Their top 2 pitchers can't pitch this year.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's a team we have seen a lot of this year on Cool FM, a team that we root for. They're in 1A. They're not done yet.
No.
Let's get over to the more positive St. David. Well, we'll keep
all they do is
down.
win, no matter what.
St.
David Lady Tigers on my mind. I'm at 8-3 on the year, 1-0 in their region. 3 wins last week. San Simon, Baghdad, Mogollon. Get out of their way. They're better than you are. They're at San Simon on Friday. That's going to win.
Next.
Let's see. San Simon's competitive. Never mind. That might not be. Never mind. You're in San Simon. Let's talk about that Mogollon game. 13-1. Emmeline Hawkes, 3 for 4, 2 runs scored with an RBI. Jasmine Wise, 2 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBIs. But yeah, they have 1 game this week, and that's at San Simon. So that's what I got for them. And while we're there, let's go over to San Simon. 1-6 on the year. Haven't played a region game yet. They're on a 3-game losing streak, unfortunately. St. David leading edge in Hayden. No shame in that game at all. They have St. David. They have Ray this week. No stats on San Simon, but Yelissa Romo batting 1,000. That's what it says on the computer. Briley Sloan and Evelyn Lopez are having good years, so that's what I got for them. There's no San Simon baseball, right?
There is no San Simon baseball, but again, San Simon, just a school that's trying to get all their varsity programs in check. They have JV baseball this year. Of course, they fielded the varsity basketball team, so keep building San Simon because
after seeing one of their own in the All-Star game, it might be like, hey, you know what? Let's get some kids out here and play.
Holly Kyle, she did a great job as well.
She did.
A lot of rebounds, made a bucket, assists, steals everywhere. Love to see it. I kind of feel bad for leaving her teammate off, but it is what it is. We didn't get to see him. Anyway, let's get over to the Valley Union Blue Devils because they are red hot after that last loss to Benson. Remember, they went 0-2. In quick succession, but now 5-2 on the season, 5-0 in their region. They went 2-1 last week.
But they lost to Bisbee and Benson.
Beating Patagonia, beating Fort Thomas. They did lose to Benson in a game you broadcast, Dave, that I think was self-inflicted for the most part.
One bad inning.
The first inning.
One bad inning. That's all it was.
That's all baseball comes down to a lot of the time. Let's talk about Moroni. How do you say his name? You got the exact pronunciation?
Who? What?
Moroni Flores. It doesn't matter.
Oh, Moroni. No, gosh, it's been a minute.
Yeah, it's okay.
It was a very long week.
Over the week. 2
It was
RBI.
a very long week.
Dylan Mitchell hit 444 with a double, a triple, and RBI. He also threw 5 innings, had 5 stolen bases, and struck out 13 in those 5 innings. Steven De La Cruz hit 333 with 3 RBI. He had 10.2 innings pitched this week and struck out 12.
Yep.
And running for Miles and Miles Richardson had 4 stolen bases, 3 RBI, and hit 375 this week. The Valley Union Blue Devils are on a bye as well as the St. David Tigers, so our 1A baseball teams don't play this week. But Valley Union, they're going to be a force in 1A.
That's a 2-man with De La Cruz and Mitchell.
Mm-hmm.
If they could earn their way into the 1A playoffs, that might be a formidable little 2-man combination.
They're going to make the 1A playoffs.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, for sure. It's how far they're going to go in the 1A playoffs.
Now, you've seen this team. What do you...
Well, if you have 2 pitchers like they got, they're going to have a chance to make a deep run in the playoffs. Especially in 1A. I mean, I don't care where it's at, what division. If you have 2 good pitchers, you have a chance to make a run. And they're going to be able to make a run.
It's
going to come down to
managing
catch the ball.
Oh, yeah, that too. But
You know
managing
what I mean?
those
That's
arms as
bottom
well. If they have to go to a third pitcher in one of those, if they make it to the quarters or semifinals, if they have to throw a third pitcher, can they overcome that? We saw that with the Wilcox in the Little League World Series when they went extra innings and they couldn't throw Hattie the next game. So there's a lot that goes into it.
Yes.
Let's finish this off with, you said they're on a bye this week as they are the Valley Union Lady Blue Devils, 4-4, 1-1 in their region. They had 1 game last week at Fort Thomas. They lost 26-22. That would have been a fun one to be at. But unfortunately, no stats on the Lady Blue Devils. They have no games this week. But yeah, to 26-20, that would have been a game to have been at.
Would have been fun.
So let's go over to one of our super hot teams, the Douglas Lady Bulldogs.
Oh no, let's save Douglas.
Oh no, never mind. We're gonna save. We're gonna go over to the unfortunate one this year, the Buena Lady Colts. They're 1-16 on the year, 0-2 in their region. They lost to Cienega twice. They lost to Mountain View and they lost to
They've lost to
Sunnyside.
Wilcox this year. It's just a rebuilding year. It seems
I know.
And we said that last year about the Lady Colts, but you just got to keep plugging away.
I know. It's just the Cienega games. I just wanted to win the Cienega games. Gosh,
It's Michigan and Ohio State. All you got to do is beat
just
Cienega.
beat Cienega.
It's a successful season.
They have a home game and an away game this week against Nogales. Talk about that Mountain View game real quick. They lost 14-9, but Amaya Serrano, 3 for 4, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Haley Larson, sophomore, 2 for 3 with a run scored, 2 RBIs, and Yanissa Long, 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. So, like you said, rebuilding program. It's all good. It's all good.
The Buena Colts, the boys baseball team, having a little bit more success. They went 11. They're 11-5 on the year, 2-0 in regions. They are on a 4-game winning streak, second only to the Bisbee Pumas. They went 3-0
Some of those wins
last
were
week.
against who?
They beat Cienega twice. They beat Mountain View Mountain Lions once, and they have the test of all tests. They have a series, one here, one at Nogales Apaches. Nogales currently ranked 3rd in the AIA.
Yeah,
So
Nogales
when it
is a
comes
good
out,
team, unlike Cienega.
All right, Jeff. Chill out over there, brother. If they come out, they split the series with Nogales.
Don't
or
come into
even
my gym
better,
and try to fight me here.
They get 2 of those wins. Oh man, look for the Buena Colts to skyrocket up the AIA power rankings. We'll talk about. It's going to start and stop. It's not going to stop, but it's going to start with Nate Whitworth. Hit 500 this week, 6 RBI, 3 runs, 3 doubles, and also had a triple in this week. And Nate Whitworth was the one that called game on that first Cienega game, the one that I was a privilege to be at.
Coach, if you didn't know, Cienega was up 7-4 going into the last inning, and all of a sudden, ding, 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 ding. See ya!
I saw it.
That was great, right?
It was.
And shout out to Colts.
We had people in the back of my job. We're all watching on my phone. I'm like, it's good.
Oh, as soon as he hit it, too, you're like, oh, they can't get to that one. It's weird on the stream. It looks like a pop-up, but that thing was a drive. I thought it was out
We
of here,
really
to be
like
honest
beating
with you.
Cienega.
By the way,
gathered
those
that.
Nogales games one of them at least, this one's going to be broadcast today on Cool FM Live. We made sure to get that covered for sure.
Oh, the Buena Nogales game?
Yeah, absolutely. Austin Cushman hit 455 last week, 4 RBI. He also threw 6 innings, had 4 strikeouts, completed 2 stolen bases as well. Bryson Haymore Sr. for the Buena Colts hit 500 this week, 2 RBIs, scored twice, and also stole a base. Brandon Brown hit 333, had a home run, a double, 4 RBI, 2 runs. He also threw 3 innings and had 7 strikeouts. He went hitless in a game, but had, I think, it was 3 RBIs. So doing exactly what his coach wanted him to do and getting those runs across. But the Buena Colts looking better than ever. Now we're going to jump over to the Douglas Boys Bulldogs before we figure out why Douglas is so disrespected. Boys Bulldogs have a case no matter what already. They're 8-6-1 on the season. They're 0-1 in their region. They went 1-1 last week. They beat Safford. They lost to Micah Mountain, and this week they lost to Santa Rita in a very, very close game. Santa Rita really up there in the rankings. They do complete that series tomorrow, I do believe, and they play ALA this week as well. Ivan Higuera, who was featured on Cool FM Live and a Tucson newspaper, which you know the name of that I keep forgetting.
And somebody that he told us about years ago.
Oh,
he was like, oh, yeah, we got this. Well, first I met his
everyone in
dad,
Douglas
and then
told
Coach Todd. This is somebody we heard about for a long time, and all of a sudden, hey, guess who's really good at this?
Ivan Higuera really put it together. Best defensive shortstop I think I've ever seen with my own 2 eyes, and I got to see Ray Sanchez play. Hit 583, had 2 doubles, 4 RBI, and a stolen base last week. Andres Ortiz had 556, 2 doubles, 4 RBI. Abel Clinch, first time mentioning his name this year, 667, 2 RBI, 2 runs, and 2 stolen bases. Trace Rodriguez, I believe a freshman, 455 and RBI, 3 runs, 5 2/3 innings pitched, had 2 strikeouts and no earned runs in his outing this week. Now, drum roll please. Let's talk about the Douglas Lady Bulldogs.
Yeah, let's do that. They're 15-4 on their
16
year.
in AIA, spoiler.
They're 15-4 in their year. They're 1-0 in their region. They beat Safford last week 11-4. They lost to Micah Mountain. They beat Suarita 9-7. Pizzy, tell them what that means.
Well, Dave, Santa Rita is the second-ranked softball team in the state. The Douglas Bulldogs, Lady Bulldogs, just beat them. And to save you all the drama, the Douglas Lady Bulldogs are ranked 16 16 after beating the number 2 team in the state. They just won their tournament.
We talked about the disrespect from AIA to Douglas for years now.
The disrespected Douglas Bulldogs. Will it ever not be a thing?
So guess who they play today?
Saurita.
Yeah, they do. Let's go ahead and beat them again. And then they're home against ALA Gilbert. But in that Saurita game, there's no stats on the Douglas Lady Bulldogs. Marissa Cross and Abigail Gonzalez are having great years. That is all I know about that.
There's another Cross that's having a great year as well. I think they're twins.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen them, so I saw the Greasemores from Tombstone. I still don't know if they're twins or not.
Coach, any thoughts or opinions on what our perceived disrespect from AIA towards Douglas is?
Well, I can't figure out AIA's system and how they come up with it and all that. I'm not even going to attempt to. But the good thing for the Lady Bulldogs is they can go out today and
do it again.
Today,
yeah, to do it again.
Go out and beat them again, and I bet you shoot up the rankings. You know what I mean?
They should
Just
have
take matters into your own hands. Go out and win, and it'll all take care of itself.
You can only control what you can control.
If we're going to try to figure out AIA and how they do things and why they do things, we're going to have a much
That'd be a long show.
Yes. Get much smarter people in here than.
You know what they should do? I think what AIA should do is divide up the football regions so that way all of our local teams don't play each other anymore. I think that would be a genius idea.
That makes a lot of sense. It doesn't. But anyway, that's going to kill me. We have, who is it? Bisbee and Benson aren't playing next.
No, Bisbee and Wilcox.
Bisbee and Wilcox.
It's like a 50-year rivalry. No big deal.
That doesn't make any sense. Anyway, that's it for our stats. Let's go ahead. That was a long-winded stat. There's a lot to get into. Let's go ahead and get into our players of the week.
All right, we doing girls or we doing boys?
You got to wait for the thing.
Oh, yeah. You got to wait for the thing. I'm not used to this fancy-dancy stuff over here.
I know. Let's start with the girls. Go ahead.
All right. I'm going to start with one of our hot girls right now from the Wilcox Cowgirls. That's going to be Layla Donahue. Again, 3 for 6, 2 runs scored, 5 RBIs in that win over Morenci, 17-16. So Layla Donahue, there you go. And let's do with another one of our real hot bats around here over that big win over Tombstone, Alyssa Lopez, the Bisbee Puma. What a game, 3 for 5, 3 runs scored, 5 RBIs. And a saucy attitude to go with it. And a 3-point contest title as well.
Yeah, she had a lot on her plate that week, too.
Yeah. So, double player of the week to Alyssa Lopez.
No kidding. Let's get over to the boys. And, man, we read off some great players, Dave, that couldn't get our player of the week. Of course, I'm going to start with Nate Whitworth from the Buena Colts. The week he had and the way he ended the Cienega game, and there is a different Buena Colt team after that hit.
The second time they played them, they smoked them.
They look unbeatable.
They smoked them.
They look unbeatable. They smoked Mountain View. So congratulations to Nate Whitworth. As Jose Mendez in the chat says, yes, sir, Coach Todd. Jose. I don't sing.
Jose.
And our second player of the week is going to be Jerry Reyes from the Wilcox Cowboys. No surprise, we talked about it. Hit a home run, 7-14, 6 innings, 7 strikeouts. Congratulations to our players of the week. That's going to take us over, Dave, to the official AIA State Power Rankings for baseball and softball. But we got them all here. So here we go. We'll start off. You want to start boys or you want to go softball, baseball?
Whatever you want to do. You do the ranking stuff.
Let's go with, well, you know what? Let's keep the tension. We'll go with softball first. And we already spoiled the biggest upset in the on the list. But we'll start with the 1A teams. The San Simon Lady Longhorns coming in at 23. The Valley Union Lady Blue Devils 17. And the St. David Lady Tigers, your number one team ranked in 1A softball. No surprise.
All they do is win.
Coach Yogi,
no matter what.
He promised. He sees all the rings here. He said, we get one. I told him we have 9
been able to cover
fingers.
as many games this year as I normally would like to. I'm going to have to change my schedule around to get out there for some St. David softball.
Oh, for sure. And softball's the one that everyone watches, too. Let's get over to the 2A teams. Coming in at 18 is going to be the Benson Lady Bobcats, followed by the Tombstone Lady Yellow Jackets at 9, the Bisbee Lady Pumas at 8, and the Wilcox Cowgirls top 5, ranked number 4 in AIA.
So when Benson goes 3-0 this week, then all 4 of our 2A teams should be in the playoffs?
Benson's got to play Wilcox tomorrow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Is that a prediction?
No.
Are we doing Dave Stradamus right now? We didn't have the graphic loaded.
Well, because they're going to beat Santa Rita, they're going to beat Desert Christian. So if they beat Wilcox, that should move them into the top 16 and put them in the playoffs, right?
It's a very big if, but that's going to be a great game, the one that I hope to get out to and actually bring Kiki to, because she's starting to pitch for softball now, and she wants to see them do it. And what better place to go watch pitchers than Wilcox City, Arizona? The 4A, of course, we talked about it. 16th ranked Douglas Lady Bulldogs. Are you kidding me on that one?
Well, it'll be higher after today.
Hopefully. And our 5A team, the Buena Lady Colts, currently ranked 34 in AIA. So those are the softball rankings. We'll jump over to the boys now. We'll start off with our 1A teams. Surprise, surprise, everyone in baseball, just like last year, going to the playoffs and starting off with 1A so far.
See you in Goodyear.
The St. David, if they have it, St. David Tigers come in at number 9. The Valley Union Blue Devils, top 5 team in 1A. Coach, you played them. I think you agree with that ranking.
I do. Well deserved by them. And I see them doing nothing but moving up.
I think so too, especially again with the Benson game. Like Dave said, it's just one bad inning. After that, it was shut down. Benson got a few runs, but for the most part, it was just that one inning. The Wilcox Cowboys, as we go over to our 2A teams, coming in at number 14. The Tombstone the Benson Bobcats, number 5. Tombstone Yellow Jackets, number 3, and Bisbee Pumas, number 1. That's right, 3 of our 2A teams in the top 5.
They have Benson in the top 5 already?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
That's what happens when you're 5-0-1 in your last 6.
Yeah, I'm okay with that life. I'm like, okay, I'll see you in Goodyear. And Wilcox, once again, going in there with that higher seed, going to upset the crap out of somebody and be like, I told you.
Right? No kidding. And Ty Scholl's pitching very, very well. It's the same story as last year.
The best pickoff move in the game.
Oh, you're not wrong about that one.
Right? I was like, he got 2 of the game that I did.
They got 2, but he got 1 in the Tombstone game. I think it was the second baseball game I broadcasted up in Wilcox. Let's get over now to the 4A. Well, yeah, let's get over to 4A, then we'll talk about the rankings here, Todd, with you. Douglas Bulldogs, disrespected Douglas Bulldogs, coming in at number 21 on the season. So they just took Sadarita to the edge, but they're 21. Sadarita's top 5. It is what it is. The Buena Colts. The disrespected Buena Colts coming in at number 14 in 5A. That doesn't make any sense.
After back-to-back wins over Cienega? Okay.
And Mountain View. They have no Gallus today, and they have no Gallus Thursday, and they come out 2-0 in that. We're looking at the number 1
right now. Right?
No, Gallus is number 3 right now. I paid attention to those ones. But, Coach, in the rankings, anything outside of Douglas surprise you on this one?
The rankings, I mean, they are what they are right now. I mean, let's talk 3-4 weeks from now and see where we're all at, and it'll be more of a clearer story. I mean, like, with us being ranked number 1, I mean, obviously we're 8-0, but our strength of schedule right now has been really tough. We've played our toughest part of our schedule. You know what I mean? So
watch out.
So our strength of schedule, I mean, we got Morenci today twice, but after that we got about 4 games that will be heavily favored. But it's going to lower our strength of schedule, which we've already talked about the AIA and how's that going to affect your.
Oh, they're going to drop you down to like 12, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So who knows how that's all going to, work out? But did we not? I mean, the small schools. I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Buena and Douglas just because they're so much bigger than us, and we don't play each other during the regular season. And I mean, I root for them. I hope the best for both of them. I like them. I know kids and parents and families from both. I'm rooting for them. But I pay attention to the smaller schools, the 1As and the 2As.
Your competition.
And did we really think that we weren't going to be highly ranked? I mean, we've been playing baseball down here at the small schools pretty good for quite a while. So, I mean, when your lowest ranked team is Wilcox, and
14.
you're about 14.
Yeah.
It's the same story.
Everybody else is in the top 10.
Top 5.
And we got 5 in the top 5 in 1A and 2A. So,
Yeah.
I mean, we all play each other, so it helps our strength of schedule in that sense. So, I mean, I'm not surprised that we're ranked that high. Am I surprised we're number 1? I mean, a little bit. Just because.
Do you think Phoenix Christian?
Yeah, I mean, you get the Phoenix
Christian number 4.
Yeah, but Phoenix Christian doesn't. We have something that they don't have. Show them.
Phoenix Christian's a great team, and I love their coaches, and they're gonna be a force to be reckoned with when we get to the playoffs. So, And don't,
Oh,
and
of
that's
course, of
another
course.
team on a mission.
Of course, well, of course.
They
After
didn't finish the job they wanted to finish last year, and don't think they haven't been thinking about it all off season and busting their butts to get better.
Well,
They're going to come in with a chip on their shoulder, and I mean, if we play them, I hope we're playing them in the championship game.
Well, yeah, and so they're going to come in there with that chip on their shoulders. They're going to be fired up, and all of a sudden, Bryson Meyer's going to be on the mound, and who cares? You're going down. That's my words, not your words.
Yeah. No, that is your words, not mine. So
Dave has this habit of motivating teams that don't need extra motivation.
no, and they don't. And Phoenix Christian ain't going to need any extra motivation. Along with
But they got it now.
Tombstone too. I mean, Tombstone didn't
What a
finish
game
their
that
year
was.
Oh, correct.
The way they wanted to
That's
finish.
why I
And
call
let's
it.
not act like they haven't thought about it all off season. They haven't been putting the work in.
That's why I call it the
And
Yellow
trying to
Jacket
get better.
Revenge Tour of 2025.
I mean,
like they're
they're-
coming back for
yeah.
next.
ESPN used to have a radio show called Mike and Mike, and Dave got on there one time. It was after LeBron James had signed, or Kevin Durant had signed with the Golden State Warriors, and he said, "What'd you say?" He's like,
I said, why don't we skip the regular season and just have the Cavaliers play the Warriors in the finals again? And
see
then
if-
Mike Golick yelled at me for 3
and
minutes.
see if LeBron James or if LeBron can beat this version of the Golden
Yeah,
State
exactly,
Warriors.
yeah.
I think the same thing when I see everything that's playing out. I'm like, let's just run it back and see if Tombstone can get to the final this year. You know, so. Oh, what a time to be alive. I think, Todd, you went the long way around to saying that the only rankings that do matter are Paul's Power Rankings.
We're doing AIA and Paul?
Yeah,
Oh.
buddy. Of course we are. You can take that. Marines not fielding a baseball team this year. So, we got them all down. I forget how I ranked them. So, starting us off. Let me just move that paper over here so I can read. Starting us off at number 8, but trending upwards, the Wilcox Cowboys.
That's a little surprising.
Well,
please continue.
when you see the teams in front of them, you go ahead and tell me who you want to change.
It's a tough county.
Oh, I know.
I said it's like the 8 best teams in baseball right now. St. David Tigers are number 7 on my power rankings. The Valley Union Blue Devils, number 6. And if they would have beat the Benson Bobcats, certainly would have trended above them. Speaking of the Benson Bobcats, starting my top 5, there is the Benson Bobcats. I thought about moving them in front of this team right now, but the Douglas Bulldogs, I feel like they were disrespected enough by the AIA, so why have me disrespect them? Going into number 3 is going to be the Tombstone Yellow Jackets. So our top 3 stays the same. The Buena Colts, actually Tombstone was number 2 last week. So Buena jumps Tombstone, and then Bisbee, of course, is number 1, and those are our power rankings.
All right. Try not to break anything over there.
Yeah, I know, right? Thank goodness Dan didn't have the multicam set up yet. Spoiler alert. But Dave, how we feeling about these rankings?
You know what? I'm just going to go with Coach on this one and be like, we're going to wait a couple of weeks here, and then we'll let it shake itself out.
Dave wasn't thinking about it at all.
No, I was, but I'm not going to. No.
Coach Todd, you played a lot of these teams. Kind of the order you see them in?
I mean, I'm not going to say one team's better than the other one.
Exactly.
I mean, they're all,
Just agree.
they're all, I mean, how could you rank these teams? I mean, they're all.
I think I agree with Dave. This team right here is poised to make a run all the way up, and that's what's going to happen. It happened last year. It's going to happen this year.
And the beautiful thing about all this, and the AIA rankings, your rankings, at the end of the year, they're all going to put out a bracket, and everybody's going to show up and play, and the best teams are going to end up winning.
And just like last
that's
year,
the way
the
it
best teams are going to be on the left side of the power rankings, just like they were last year. I think the lowest team I had was Wilcox, and I think they were even in my top 4. So it was tough.
Did was make it to the Elite 8.
Well, there you go. Well, that's going to do it for all the power rankings. Dave, do you have questions?
I do. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to remember to wait for the intro. 3 questions, Quizzy prepared.
Nailed it.
You did.
All right. So we'll just go through these a little quickly here. Nothing to really linger on about too much. But they did have the NFL Rule Change Committee that had met today, and they did change some rules. Are you familiar with these?
Now, are they real rule changes?
Yeah,
or
no, they
April
are.
Fool's
No,
rule changes?
they're real. So they're going to.
It is April 1st.
No. So they're going to move touchbacks from the 30 to the 35 to try to inspire more kick returns because they were kicking touchbacks at an insane rate last year. So that's one of the rule changes. And overtime. Now, both teams will possess the ball in overtime, even if somebody scores a touchdown.
But it's still only 10 minutes.
Right. But again, so if somebody scores a touchdown, the game's not over. So you will continue. And so that's a new overtime change rule.
I think
Those
that's
are the two,
ridiculous.
and they kept
I
the tush
don't-
push. They kept that.
I thought the best, they kept the tush push?
They kept the tush push.
Oh, man. A lot of the coaches were behind that decision.
They got 16 no votes. It needed 28.
It's one of those things. Like we'll start with the tush push. It's like just because one team can do it, how can you ban it? It looks terrible. It's not fun for anyone to watch, but at the same time, and it does take a lot of the drama out because once it's third and 3, Eagles have a first down. So it is what it is. But they're the only team that can do it. So how are you going to ban that? Going to the overtime rule, I think the perfect overtime rule was you score a touchdown, you win the game. You kick a field goal, the other team gets the ball. I think that's brilliant. Why did we ever change that? I don't know. I don't care. And if you talk to a lot of defensive players, they're the same mindset. Stop them. You want the ball back, stop them. You can even get a field goal right now. They could score points. You could still stop them and get the ball back. So those are my 2 cents on it. What was the other one? Oh, the touchback.
Yeah, touchbacks, yeah.
I couldn't care. They mess kickoffs up so bad. I really don't pay attention anymore.
All right. So question number 2. I know you were so proud of me last week about this, so I'm going to go ahead and take all that pride right off the table. What the heck is going on with Aaron Rodgers? How tiring is this right now, brother? Because now the Pittsburgh's trying to figure out, do I need to trade for Kirk Cousins because Rodgers won't make a decision? And by the way, that Dak thing is very real.
Well,
Folks,
we'll see.
There's a very, very good chance that Dak Prescott is a Cleveland Brown next year.
When we break that news on our Cochise County Sports Show, we can talk about it. I still don't see how that works.
Okay.
You'd have the 2 highest contracts in NFL history, dead money quarterbacks, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, because Cleveland cares about what's the right thing to do. That's what they're known for,
No,
making
I'm
good
just-
decisions.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that. They just made Myles Garrett the highest paid non-quarterback, so
Oh, Michael Parsons is going to beat that today.
he might. Jerry Jones likes to do business in a terrible way. If you think Micah Parsons is better than Myles Garrett, I got some ice in Alaska to sell you.
But no, so with the
Or however
Rodgers,
the saying goes.
I know how you feel about Rodgers, but now Pittsburgh's in quarterback purgatory.
I don't think Aaron Rodgers would be an upgrade from Kirk Cousins. I don't think Aaron Rodgers is an upgrade from Russell Wilson and what they had last year. I think the potential of Justin Fields intrigues me more. Who's a Jet now? Both teams play in New York, Russell and
Well, you
Geno.
saw Rodgers working out with DK yesterday.
I
at
did,
UCLA.
and all power to him. Everyone's holding on to the fact that Aaron Rodgers is an all-time great quarterback, and he's going to find that form. Michael Jordan was not Michael Jordan after 40 years old. The only person, and I know the only 2 people that have ever been themselves after 40 are Tom Brady and LeBron James, and I know how you feel about both of those guys. So I just don't see it. Aaron Rodgers was once a very, very great. He was in the discussion, if he could win more Super Bowls, is the greatest quarterback of all time. That's not who he is now. He's had 3 years to prove it, and he's not that guy. Thank you, Todd. He agrees with me, just like my power rankings.
And one last question for you. This is fascinating. This one just came across last night. So you heard last week Tiger Woods ruptured his Achilles.
No, but it's mastered.
No, it was like a month ago. Between hyperbaric chambers and doctors and things that they're doing, Tiger Woods is teeing up on Thursday.
Awesome. He's probably gonna play.
Happy April 1st.
Oh yeah.
Which tendon?
Nah.
That was your April Fool's joke of the
I
day.
didn't hear anything of it. Did he really rupture his?
No.
Yes, he did rupture his Achilles.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Yes, but no, he's not playing in the Masters. He ruptured his Achilles.
Well, I mean, Aaron Rodgers was coming
true,
back
one part
after a
not.
week
You
after
can't
he
be-
ruptures his Achilles last year. If they would just have been in the playoffs, Aaron Rodgers was going to play. It's a 4-week injury now. That's what everyone's saying.
Yeah, but not on your left foot when you're
It's
a
a
golfer.
joke, dude. Like he was
God.
never gonna.
No.
Just the things he said.
I almost believed it. I forgot what day it was. I woke up and I'm like, no, he's not really playing. I got so excited and I was like, oh, it's April 1st. I was like, God damn.
That one of the rule changes you just said. I think was like the overtime or something. I looked at that. I'm like, no way they're doing that.
No,
So I had to
that's
confirm
actually
it.
real.
Had to confirm it with multiple sources, none of which are mine. But I think that's it for the questions. Yes or no?
Yeah, that was 3.
All right then. Well, everyone, that means it's time because he's raving. It's what we call Dave, and it's time for Dave's diatribe. Dave, take it away.
So I'm glad that we have Coach here with us because he's going to really help me with this. So we're going to talk about a man named Aaron Leonard. He was an MIT physicist. He got a master's in engineering at the University of Michigan. He was a professor at the University of Michigan for 7 years, but he's a baseball geek. And so at 40 years old, he quit his job as a professor at the University of Michigan, and he started studying baseball bats and what I can do with these baseball bats and how I can legally create a better bat, based on what needs to be done. He's the guy that invented the torpedo bat. And so that's a big thing of discussion right now. In the first 3 games of this year, the Yankees scored 36 runs using that bat. The only one that doesn't use that bat is Aaron Judge, but he had 4 home runs as well. In the first 3 games of the year, Giancarlo Stanton last year in the playoffs used this bat, had 7 home runs in 14 games. So tell me about the torpedo bat and the impact it's having on Major League Baseball.
It's not a diatribe. That's a question.
Yeah. Well, let's find out.
It's an information giving,
Let's see how many other teams start using them. I mean, the bats might be something special. We'll see. And once all the teams or a lot of players start using them. But then again, also, I mean, who are the Yankees playing and where are they playing and who is the other team putting them on the mound? I mean, it's not like the New York Yankees or the Los Angeles Dodgers or some of these power teams haven't put up numbers like that last year without the torpedo bat. But the torpedo bat, I've seen it. It helps you, gives you a bigger barrel space where you can barrel ball up a little better. So
interesting.
So yeah, maybe there's something to it. But I'm still holding out. Let's get more data on it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why.
But maybe it is something.
But because it's such a hot topic,
Yes.
well, I'm not going to pretend to know more. You're the guy that would know more about this than I would.
I think what you have to look at is where they play. And Yankee Stadium has that, 300 to right?
The short
It's
porch.
a really short porch. And that's the numbers that keep coming out is, this is a home run in one of 32 stadiums. So that plays a lot in it too. So you got to go back and see how many of those were on the road, especially say 7 of 14 games he had a home run in the Stanton last year.
And
how many? And he's a lefty, so how many of those are going out in the short porch in
and how
Yankee Stadium?
many? And not to put down any players at all, but how big are the Yankees already up? And it's in the 6th inning, and the other team's manager isn't bringing in their top relievers. They're bringing in inning killers, inning eaters. Just eat up some innings for us, and they don't care if we lose 18-3 or 13-3. They don't care. A loss is a loss. They're going to save their pitching for the next day. So I mean, there's a lot of factors that can go into it. Teams putting up big numbers.
Now, to all of my friends at ESPN out there that I know are watching, perspective, and not just jumping on hot click button issues. Perspective. But that was all I had today. I wanted to talk about the torpedo bats as long as I had the expert here with me. So
I'm no expert, but that's my opinion.
I think the rings on your finger disagree with your sentiment. But yeah, that'll do her for today, huh?
All right, thank you, as always, to Synergy Home Care of Sierra Vista, non-medical home care all across Cochise and Santa Cruz, and by this month, Graham County, for all of your loved ones that need a little bit of help with activities of daily living. Call me today at 520-685-1035.
Also, thanks to Jake the Snake over at Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol. We aren't using that for the set anymore because we got the upgrade, but they're always in our hearts, and they will be putting up 103s on my scorecards. So thank you very much to Sierra Vista Golf Center at Pueblo Del Sol. Thank you to Coach Todd Hammett, my friend,
for
joining us. As always a better show when we have one of the coaches on with us.
You're telling me.
So, again, thanks to everybody that joined us for the All-Star game on Saturday, and we have a big week of sports on Cool FM, including Buena and Nogales today, along with Bisbee and Morenci. So stay tuned, and let's have some fun this week. Be safe out there.
This presentation of the Cochise County Sports Show with Paul and Dave brought to you by Synergy Home Care and Sierra Vista Golf Center. Tune in every Tuesday for new episodes right here on Cool FM Live.